Scorpio, I see some good fortune ahead, especially in business, but that doesn't mean there aren't any pitfalls. In fact, you might work so hard that you stress yourself out. My name is Finn, and this is Magic 7 Tarot. Thanks for joining me today. I've already done a Magic 7 Tarot spread for you and had a chance to look at that for a little while and kind of sit with that and meditate on it. So we'll dive into that, and then we'll pull a few oracle cards and see if we can get some clarification. So in the past position, we have the Seven of Wands reversed. Now I use the Brotherhood of Light Tarot, Egyptian Tarot. And so a reverse card is not a negative. It just means that it might be a bit slower to express itself or might not fully express itself. A bit more difficult to come to come out, like my words right now. This has to do with relying on your own judgment and holding yourself to your own ideals. So in the past position, it seems to me that you've channeled your desires, you're listening to your inner voice, and you're finding a path forward that is about you, that you could be enthusiastic about. I mean, this card is full on Sagittarius energy. 7 is Sagittarius, and then it's the Sagittarius decadent of Sagittarius. So it definitely rules things like teaching and publishing, sales to some degree, philosophy, religion and faith. It really has to do with having faith in yourself. So in the past, you've had to rely on your own judgment. And when I say past, this is, the recent past. This is a new moon reading for you, Scorpio, for when the moon comes into Scorpio again, March 17th and forward. So the next month or so. And this will be valid whether you have the sun, the moon, or the rising sign in Scorpio, although they each have a different interpretation. Well, let's stick with this card. 7 of Scepters reversed. So definitely enthusiastic about your own ideas. So you have this vision of yourself. It's positive, and you've had to, listen to yourself and kind of guide yourself through it, and have faith in yourself, and devoting to yourself. Like when you have an idea of yourself, and then that's held within, and to make that external, you've had to believe in it before it exists. Right? Believing in invisible forces. I mean, that's what we're doing here. We're believing in invisible forces, and you've had to do that on your own. It also could represent some kind of business, like a technology business, like software development, or excuse me, software publishing. Anything where you're out in front of people. It could be that you're a preacher and you work at a church. It definitely has to do with personal philosophy, belief systems, and religion. But that also could be, translated to a secular context as, teaching philosophy or publishing a book. You definitely, the one thing I'm just going to say about this, these are general readings, so I'm just reading the energy. It's like your emotional weather report. So in the past, you've had to rely on your own judgment. You have an ideal about yourself that you're enthusiastic about, but it might have been a bit slow in coming, a bit slow in developing. In the present, we have the Youth of Scepters. So this is someone who's also very positive, a teacher, philosopher, all the same sort of Sagittarius energy. This could represent someone else, or it could represent a part of you. In this case, because we have this card preceding it, I really believe that this is a part of yourself. So it's sort of like the part that was hard to kind of get moving is now moving. So in the present, we have independence. You're seeing the big picture, and you're moving towards the things that maybe you could only dream of in the past. Something to do with automobiles keeps coming. I don't know what that means. I see a picture. It could mean a trip. Sometimes these images come to me in an odd way, and I have to interpret them. This definitely, Sagittarius energy definitely has to do with foreign entities. Importing, exporting could be another example of it, it could be foreign travel, or it could be dealing with someone from a foreign country. If you're planning a trip, this is awesome energy. The Sagittarius energy is open-minded and beneficent. It's ruled by Jupiter, and so it has a good heart. Sometimes it can overdo it a bit, be a bit blunt, but for the most part, it's very likable energy, very easy to get along with. Positive energy, optimistic, but opinionated. um, if you've got something to tell someone, you're going to tell them. Okay. Uh, if it's someone outside of you, you're going to hear about it. Okay. Someone's going to say, that idea you had in the past? Well, I think you should do it this way. And it might not be a terrible idea to listen. The person's definitely on your side. I see. So that's the key word for it. I see. Um, so let's say this was just a dream or an imagining or a vision about what you wanted to achieve, your ideals. And while you're enthusiastic, it's an inner voice that you're devoted to. This now you're starting to see it materialize. Okay. This is definitely in the world. Okay. Um, so it's asking you to look at the big picture. And that means taking into account other people's realities. Okay. Big picture doesn't mean big picture for me, it means big picture for us all. And if you're dreaming big, boy, oh boy, there's a lot of success is indicated here. So, we're stepping through past, present, immediate future, and then we're going to see how this resolves. But overall, the cards are about success. So uh, keep going. Keep going. Okay. Now, in the immediate future, we have the Two of Swords reversed. So, obstacles. Okay. Wouldn't it be great if we had an idea and we started to actualize it and everything worked out perfectly? Well, that's usually not what happens. Okay. Sometimes we have an idea of something and we start to put it out in the world, and then the world tells us, whoa, your vision of it, the ideal situation that you were imagining, is now confronted with a reality. This is not a negative card, but what it does indicate is in the immediate future, some stress or working too hard. If you're starting a new business venture or you're expanding a current business, um, that's hard work. I own a few businesses. I've had several businesses in my life. It's always work, right? You say, "Oh, I'm going to start a business and chill out." That's not how it works, okay? And you might find yourself overworked, stressed out, and struggling, some difficulties, okay? Whenever you put something that's an imagination into the world, you're going to struggle against the reality. And that's like a fine tuning component. Now, I haven't mentioned anything about love or relationships. It's really more of a business kind of reading. I'll just say that: business, work, employment, personal ideas, actualizing the self. That's how it sort of is coming across to me this month. But this could mean some kind of marital trouble. Listen, if you're overworking, you might not be paying attention to the people that care about you the most. Okay? I mean, it's great that you have an idea about what you want to achieve, but why are you achieving it? I mean, it's not simply for yourself, right? Right? It's for the people that you care about. You're building something for the future. This is definitely, you're building something. So if you're paying too much attention to it and not to the people you're doing it for, that might be a bit off base. So just be cautious about that. It's practical energy. You know, this is ideal energy, idealism, practical. Okay? And sometimes, when we're out in the dream world, whether literally or figuratively, and then we have to get down to brass tacks, get down to the practical, that could be a bit unsettling. I don't want you to give up yourself in the future. Okay? You have to keep the faith to make this come true. And so the first obstacle that you hit should be a challenge and not a roadblock, as it were. Okay? So you have an obstacle, you have to get through it. You don't stop there. Okay? And make sure that the people that you love the most are being cared for. And that might be, say, darling, I don't have any time, and I know I'm working too hard, and I'm feeling stressed out. Um, can we put off our dinner till next week? But don't cancel it. You can delay it if you're really busy. Okay. Don't let your vision of what you'd like to achieve get in the way of why you're achieving it. Okay, I'm going to say it that way. We'll move to the next card. The next card says, the next card is a great card. This is Arcanum 19, the Sun. Okay, this is marriage and happiness. Okay, this is the part that you can control. Okay, and so um, you can't hurt yourself in the pursuit of the things that you're doing to help yourself. Okay, this is great positive energy. It's action, it's awakening, um, it's movement. Uh, it's so positive, and it really meshes with these other cards. The energy is magnanimous. Okay, uh, generous. Okay, you're an expansive person with some great ideas. You're hitting some roadblocks, or maybe stressing out about it. Don't let that get you down. Just go with your heart. This absolutely is leading with the heart. Okay. Um, it also suggests that you're protected. So, if there's some struggle here that's making you feel down, just try to tune into the energy of your whole self. It's saying that no one can hurt you but yourself. Okay, so if you're hitting these struggles and that's shutting you down, or you're so stressed out you can't function, that's you hurting yourself. Okay, the the love that you have for the situation, for what you're endeavoring to accomplish, for the people around you, if you're in a partnership, um, this is the part that needs to keep coming up for you. Okay, don't lose sight of why, or who am I doing this for. Mm. Sorry, another little thought coming to me here as I tune into the card. uh, you might have to moderate your desires. Okay, so sometimes when we break out, you know uh, we think, wow, we break out into something we really want to do. Wow, nothing can stop me. And very soon, wow, something stops me. So having a moderate approach, or a moderate sense of what you're going to accomplish in what time frame, is a really great way of managing any potential disappointment in the short term. There's not disappointment in the long term here. Okay, in the long term, success is indicated. But, if you hit a roadblock, or a delay, or a struggle, or you're working too hard, it's easy to maybe give up the big dream. And so instead, just have modest dreams to begin with. That's what I'm suggesting. Okay, what does the environment present for you? And here we have Arcanum 18, which is called the moon. The moon, in this case, it's saying to, it has some negative connotations. So let me try to elevate it, because in relation to the other cards, I don't feel like it's negative. You know, um, it could represent deception. I, I don't think you're fooling yourself. I think that you have a vision of what you want in life, and it's attainable. Okay, and so it means stick to it. The environment is going to cause you to doubt yourself. Okay, let's go with that. Delays, maybe wanting the world, and then some self-doubt comes in. Okay, whenever you hang it out there, whenever you extend yourself into something new, there's always going to be some doubt. That's a normal part of developing confidence. In other words, put it out there, it doesn't quite work, you fine tune it, and then the next time you put it out there, you have a bit more confidence because kind of, oh, it's not going to go in a straight line. Right? It never goes in a straight line. It always, um I always say, well, we're here to experience things, the good, the bad, and hopefully not as much ugly. uh and we can control, in this case, you control a lot of the energy. The ball is in your court. So if you push too hard, or you let yourself get bummed out because you're overworking, then this card is going to be a bit more negative than it needs to be. It could represent some kind of depression, but I don't see that in relation to the other cards. Stick to what you, in the moments of doubt, come back here to your heart. Okay? Don't let this don't let the doubts in the environment, and maybe the environment is giving you doubts. Wow, you can't achieve that. I mean, maybe keeping it to yourself. Okay? Don't ask everybody for advice. I mean, if you need advice, if you're starting a business, or you're starting a venture, or you're trying to change something, it's good to get advice um, from people who have advice to offer. But not everybody does. Okay? So just be cautious about that. Choose who you're asking advice carefully. Who's going to be on this journey with you? Not everyone can be, and you certainly don't want the people uh, on the journey who are uh, sowing seeds of doubt. I'm remembering a poem by the poet Robert Bly. It's like the four things you don't that are useless on a boat. And the last one is the fear of going down. Right? I mean, if you're on a boat in rough seas and you have one person in the boat going, "Oh, we're going to sink. Oh, I'm going to," that's not going to make it better. Okay? It doesn't belong there. And that's this kind of energy, right? It's like, it's changeable, where your internal vision isn't. Like, you have a vision for yourself and it's really confident. Okay, and as that comes out in the world, and there's some delay or complication or struggle, effort, this is effort. Okay, it's easy to maybe go over to self-doubt. Please try not to do that. Okay, stick to it. um, don't 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 tell everyone what you're up to. Okay, um, and be aware of people who are false friends, or someone who isn't on your side. Okay, be aware of that. The environment could provide clues to those people, and if you stick to your heart energy, you're gonna suss that out quickly enough. I really believe that. Okay. The sixth card is the Two of Scepters, and that's what opposes you. Sometimes in the opposite position, we have cards that are decidedly negative, and that means that there's some kind of, big opposition to what you're trying to accomplish. In this case, this is not a negative card at all. Okay, so how could we interpret this? Is yeah, uh, business methods. Okay, so how you go about accomplishing something. These are both twos. So hitting a roadblock and how you overcome it are related. Okay, and so what this is saying is, you got to watch your interests. You got to pay attention to your interests. Okay, and so are people working actively against your interests, or as you work through the struggles, you got to maintain, your focus. Maintain your focus, and not, give over to the worry, not give over to the stress, not give over to, like, martyring yourself. Okay. um your habits. Having good habits. So do you have some negative habits that might undermine your success? This is saying, watch out for those. Okay, are you getting enough sleep? I don't want to be your parent here, but sleep is like the superpower of life. That's what I believe now. As I get older, and I'm a very active person and very positive person, and I'm athletic, and I get a lot done. I'm very productive. If I get an hour's less sleep, you know, how much am I going to get done? How much I'm able to get done can nosedive. Okay, so uh, if you have any bad habits, take care of those. Watch those. They're in your way. Okay, and the more you don't take care of them, the more you're going to feel the acute stress and anxiety that is inherent in getting your thing going. Um, it also could be, a bit of this energy too, in the sense that, oh, look at that. It is the Leo decadent of Aries. Okay, in the Brotherhood of Light, they represent different constellations. That's why I love these cards and the whole system. So this energy is Leo energy, and that's there as well. So don't get too high on yourself. Okay, let your success speak for itself. You don't need to blow your own horn. Okay, it could get in the way and it could cause opposition, right? One thing I always say is, Leos are such great people. I have lots of friends who are Leos, and they're generous and happy, but sometimes they can go a bit too far. Sometimes they drink their own Kool-Aid. Okay, so make sure you're not doing that. Right, that's the part you can control, and the more you are able to control it, the less this opposition seems to me to have teeth. It's definitely a risk of overworking yourself, uh, and I want you to be careful of that. Get enough rest, and when you're in a flow state and you're working, go for it, and as soon as you feel it level out, take a break. Okay, give yourself lots of break. Lots of breaks. Give yourself lots of breaks. Listen to yourself. Okay, you're your own best friend and your own worst enemy in this situation. Okay, so be on the side of taking care. So how does this resolve this month? Is the last card, and is the Five of Scepters. Again, we have Leo energy, and this card means good fortune in business, success. Uh, it means goodwill. It means that the faith that you had in yourself comes to fruition. It's an incredibly positive card. This is good luck. Okay, abundance. Wow. I mean, that's what you need to meditate on here is abundance, letting the universe come in for you. Um, and some change, right? Like it's sort of like you had an idea in the past of how you'd like things to be. Pardon me. And you're starting to actualize that. You have a danger of overworking yourself, and the environment isn't necessarily going to be friendly to you at first. Okay, control your ego energies, the part that wants to blow your own horn. Okay, and instead let your success speak for itself, because that's what's indicated here. This is very successful. Again, I see things like publishing, teaching, software development, technology, analysis. All of those things kind of play out here. Might be expressions. Obviously, that's not going to be the same for everyone. With a general reading, we do the general energies. Okay, and I try to intuit, some expressions that are common, or images come to me, like the travel one came to me, right? A journey, or dealing with someone far away, or um, but no matter how you slice it, this is success. Okay, Scorpio, I want you to stick to your guns, and please don't overwork yourself, and please don't allow self-doubt to enter the picture at all. Okay, you have such positive energy inside and a really strong belief in yourself. And don't let that get shaken by other people's opinions or negative thoughts or doubts. Don't let the doubts of the environment come in. Stick to it. And know that struggle is part of the journey. Okay? How we struggle is who we really are. You know, I mean, anybody, let's just say, uh, I often have these sayings that come back into my mind. Anybody can be spiritual at the top of a mountain, right? Go minister unto the poor and see how you're doing, right? Everybody's spiritual when they're meditating, in Tibet, right? Come on down and help people. See how that works out. Okay. So you got to keep it going even when it's tough. That definitely is what that is. And boom, success. It's an exciting month for you, Scorpio. I feel like whatever excuse me, images you had of yourself in the past, whatever vision you had of yourself in the past, your ideals, you're able to start to bring those into reality. And maybe it's a situation, I mean, change isn't indicated per se, but when something new is happening, that kind of implies a change, right? So you channeled your desires, you listened to your inner voices, and you devoted yourself to a new version of yourself. Okay, starting to express it. This is not gonna. You're not gonna. You're not gonna hit the world and suddenly here I am, and everyone's gonna go, "Wow, the new you." You're gonna have to demonstrate that through success, but that's what it suggests to me. By the end of this period, by the end of the month, and your next new moon, you will have started to realize that success, and that's exciting for me. All right, I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards. These are the wild unknown archetype cards, and I love them. We'll try to get a couple of clarifying cards to see what energy can Scorpio drop in as the month goes on to remind them of their path and help them succeed. Desire to know the truth. I'm not a big fan of the round cards, although I love the looks of the cards. Desire to know the truth for Scorpio. I shuffle and cut the cards into 3 piles, and I do that 3 times as my process. If one pops out, I do not trust that. I just think I'm not paying attention. Some people read those cards. I do not. That's just the way I do it. Scorpio for the next month. What archetype can Scorpio live through to realize the success that's indicated in this reading? A desire to know the truth. We'll do this one more time. The next month for Scorpio, archetype, desire to know the truth spirit. If this reading is resonating with you, I'd appreciate you subscribing to my channel, liking the video, making a comment. If it's not resonating, I'd love to hear what did happen? How could I have read the energies? I have a lot of experience reading tarot cards for people, but hardly any experience reading them on the internet for general people. And so this is the first Scorpio reading I've done on this new channel. I'll be doing 2 readings each month, one at the new moon, personal new moon, and one at the full moon. And I hope you can join me each time. What did we get? The Seed. I love this card. This personal new moon is about, setting intentions, right? And a lot of what this is all about was intentions in the past now starting to be realized. Okay? Let's have a look at what it says here. I love the art on these cards, but I also love that they connect to universal principles in a way that's general. It's something you can really grab onto. Beginnings come in many forms. They're not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. I sort of think of this card. It's not always perfect, right? Beginnings can be difficult. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central image or detail that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning, or the entire oak resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there is potent generative energy all around. It stirs your very insides and usually results in an antsy, impatient feeling. I mean, this card can be impatient too. I mean, I think all of the cards can be impatient. They all have that. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it's the sure sign of growth to come. You're bumping up against a growth edge. It's from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. So it's definitely building, fertile, generative, but you're going to hit, some edges here. Scorpio, that's a great card for you today. I love it. Let's do one more. This is from the Sacred Destiny Oracle. Spirit, what inspiration can we offer Scorpio this month to help them achieve, help them realize this luck that's indicated? Desire to know the truth. I will be doing personal readings, individual readings coming up at the end of March. I think I opened it up March 29th. You can follow the link if you're interested. I could, obviously, if I have your birth chart and you ask me a specific question, I can go pretty deep. That's what I've been doing for way longer than I want to admit. So what inspiration can we offer Scorpio? A desire to know the truth. Okay. Purification. That's a great card. Having this devotion to your ideals. Ideals, when you're talking about ideals, it's about like the pure form, right? But nothing comes out perfectly right at first, right? Growth is a process. But I love this purification. Watch out for the struggles and let your heart energy take over. I'm going to just read what it says for purification. No matter what's happened in the past, everything can be fresh and new again. The purity of your soul is shining through everything you encounter. You're entering into a period of grace. Right? Grace is another way of saying luck. Simply open your heart and know that the best is yet to be. The past does not need to equal the future. Your future can be and will be shimmering, sparkling, and bright. Old limiting patterns are dripping away. Recurring challenges are releasing, and the time of redemption, forgiveness, and holy healing. Scorpio, I wish you all the luck this month, and I can't wait to hear how this all plays out. Thanks for joining me today. Peace.